Now if you come on down to Highbury, you can see Thierry Henry. He is the best player you will ever see. Thierry Henry. Now if you come on down to Highbury.
Hello and good evening from Dial Square to Where. How are you doing, chappers or gappers, should I say? You still got your gap?
Still there. Got the dentist on Friday to get my whatever it's called, prototype. So I'll be
prototype.
Prototype. So I'll sort of be a bit of an android next time you see me. This is from Dial Square to Where with Andrew and Android.
Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, you know, it's slowly but surely I'm becoming more machine than man. So,
oh my God! Sorry, I'm just been distracted. But Chelsea, it's in injury time, and what's his name? The American geezer, Pulisic, has literally just gone through on goal, had a clear run at the keeper, took it round the goalkeeper, and put it wide. That is unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely hilarious. The last kick of the game, actually. They've just blown the final whistle as well. So, yeah, they've just won 1-0 away at Malmo, which is not a great result for them. So, you know, obviously they've won. But anyway. Right, and how are you, Kunjan?
I'm good, buddy. You tell me. I'm sure everyone is buzzing with the news that we got today morning. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I should actually say bienvenido a Tottenham Hotspur, Antonio Conte. Oh, actually, sorry, no, sorry, that's Spanish. I'll edit that bit out later.
Willkommen, that's what it is. No, hang on. No, that's
I'll edit that bit out later. That's just a really embarrassing mistake there. But we'll come on to that in a short while. But Ryan's going to be joining us very soon, which will be good. So in the meantime, we can just have a bit of a quick chat about the game against Leicester, which I think was a fantastic away performance, personally, and see what you guys are thinking about it. Chappers, well, I mean, like I said, I don't think we could have done much better against a really good side away from home, personally. But what's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I was actually for when the game was live, I didn't catch the first half because I was out surfing with my son, which was very exciting.
Wow.
They've got like this one of those machines that are wave generating machine things, lakes, just outside of Bristol where I live. So yeah, we went there, and I managed to get the second half, which was obviously great as well. But I think, yeah, again, another really solid performance. I'm really, really impressed by the way that there just seems to be a lot less fuss and dither amongst the team. There seems to be a little bit more of certainty, on the ball and off it as well. So when we defend, there's no messing about, there's no indecision. And I really, really like that. And I have to say, I think that's probably down to the Ramsdale effect. I think that's got to be a really, really large part of it, because he's in there. He is all the time, for 90 minutes, and he just seems to be on it constantly and on them constantly. And I think that's really, really helpful to the team and kind of. So here's an example. I played football on Sunday. I nearly died. It was a hard fought 4-2 cup game defeat to a team that were 4 divisions above us. But we put in a good show, but only after we conceded 2 goals, because we weren't talking to each other. And as soon as we started talking to each other, we played so coherently as a team. And I really just think that has made a massive, massive difference to have that vocality at the back and permeating through the whole team. And needless to say, he was man of the match as well. Vardy didn't look like he was particularly on his game, which is always good for us. I think he's kind of still trying to shake off an injury, isn't he? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was a lot down to Ben White as well, though, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a
absolutely.
brilliant tussle with him throughout the whole 90 minutes.
And he's shaping up to be a really good player, Ben White. And I can see now why we paid 50 million for him. It's funny, isn't it, when lots and lots of people were bemoaning that we spent this money on this player and that money on that player, and why didn't I get the shiny player that I wanted? But actually, most of these decisions so far, certainly, I'm going to go with all 6 signings. Actually, have made some sort of an impact since they've come into the team, and it's really made a massive difference to the way that we play as a team and the quality of the football that we play as well.
Absolutely, it certainly has. And I said this last week. I think that it's incredible how I can't remember how many teams in the past have had such an impact by all of their signings of the previous summer coming into the team and playing so well and playing such a key part in the team straight away. There's been no failures out of the 6 of them. And I'll just quickly say hello to Ryan. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, Ryan.
Hi, guys. How are you doing, guys?
Good evening, everybody.
You finished the Teddy Bears picnic. All right, Kunjan, same question to you, really, mate, about the game against Leicester and what your thoughts on it were.
I was very impressed. And one thing many talking points, but the first thing was that after Crystal Palace, when we watched against Villa, the directness of the attack, we were away to Leicester. And I expected, obviously, for us to be a slightly defensive setup, but it wasn't the case. I read up on the screen, I'm like, are we at home again by any chance? Because we literally took the game to Leicester. And you could see from set piece after set piece, we were bombarding Leicester. And you could see that they were taken aback. Like Brendan Rodgers was not expecting this. And that's such a good thing to have, considering all these years when we speak of Arsenal. It's like, whether we're at home or away, we're always on the back foot. Whether it's Leicester, whether it's Watford, whether it's Manchester City, we're always on the back foot. We're always the team that looks for errors in the side. And again, both the goals did not come from errors from Leicester. It actually came from a strategic play. If you looked at the way the set pieces were being taken, if you look at the structure, everyone knew what they were going to be doing. Emile Smith-Rowe's goal, the Smith came through literally out of nothing. But if you track back to how the ball was played and where the position play was and how they were breaking Leicester, I was highly impressed. The second thing that I was very, very, very impressed by was an individual. It was not even a performance collective. It was one individual listed on, and I think everyone knows who it was. It was the man of the match of the evening, and that was Aaron Ramsdale. You could throw a nuclear warhead at him, and he would not let it through the post. And I was like, what's happening here? And just to track back, this is something we were very excited for during our FA Cup run, because we enjoyed watching Martinez's physicality. We had a sense of security.
Chappers have gone to get a nuclear warhead just to test it out.
Just to try it out. But yeah, like when you see the kind of the solidness of having Ramsdale, and again, I'll be the first one to admit this. I was not a fan when we were linked to the Ramsdale. I was like, what are we doing? We absolutely can do better than this. And I'm starting to eat a big chunk of humble pie, because he was phenomenal. He was simply phenomenal. And we have to give credit to the manager. And again, I think we said this last week. I'm going to say it again. There's a togetherness of the squad. There's a togetherness of the squad and the fans. There's a togetherness of the squad, the fans, and the manager. I know we're going to get to this later on, but today when I saw the news of Conte crop up, there was this big barrage of Arsenal fans that jumped up and said, you see, we could have had him, but we chose not to go for him. this is stupid. Our manager is complacent. Our board is complacent. I'm still anti the board, but this is what I'm trying to say. When the manager is doing good, back him up. And the manager is not doing good, let's speak on improvements. Let's speak on how we can do better. And he's done such a good job ever since our 5-0 defeat to Manchester City, and yet he's getting no credit. He's absolutely getting no credit. Everybody is still looking for something to pinpoint about, which I think is slightly unfair. And the Leicester City game, just at the back of a victory of Leicester City. Leeds United, just at the back of a victory to Aston Villa. These are not easy fixtures. Yes, we cannot pit them up against having a Liverpool, a Manchester City, or even a Manchester United, despite the new Conte revolution at Manchester United. We cannot compare these fixtures, but these are fixtures that are not easy on paper, and we won them and won them well. Let's give credit to the team. They deserve all the plaudits that can come their way. It's not a fluke. It's not a one-off, and we just hope for an upward trajectory.
Yeah, that's a good point that you made about it not being a fluke as well. Because I've seen people, well, you only sort of managed to keep a clean sheet because of your goalkeeper. He was just saving everything. Well, that's not a fluke because you went out and bought him in the summer to do exactly that job. And that's how good he is. So yeah, that's not a fluke. We put him in that position just for that reason. Ryan, what about you, mate? Are you as happy as we all seem to be?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that, like Kuzan just said, literally since the Man City defeat, in all competitions, we haven't lost a single game. We almost lost to Palace, but again, we've made a few subs, and suddenly for the last 15, 20 minutes, there's a fight there. Again, we hadn't seen for how long? Under Emery, under Wenger, the last few years under Wenger. If we were down in the last few minutes of a game, it would be, this just makes sure we don't lose by 3 or 4, things like that. And now we're showing fight, and then we've moved on from that. We've gone and beat Aston Villa at home. When we've had the Martinez derby, we've got Emi Martinez giving it the big I am. We've let him come to the carpet. We've put him to the sword. We've then a week later took on Leicester away. Not just a fixture, a venue that hasn't been kind to us in the last few years. Up till last season, when we beat them 3-1, hasn't been kind to us.
No, not at all.
Suddenly got a tune out of this squad when it comes to these games, and we've got to remember as well, amongst all the mediocrity of last season, Mikel Arteta actually did break that hoodoo of beating the top 6 away side or top 5 away side for 5, 6 years it had stood, and he went to 2 teams and got results.
Yeah. It's the first time we've beaten Leicester away 3 times on the trot, which is one of them's including in the cup last season, since 1925.
Wow.
That's not a bad thing to tick off the old notebook, is it?
Yeah.
So anyway, carry on, Ryan.
Just mentioned Conte there today, the news about Conte going to them not down the road. We're discussing it last night, the potential of it happening, because it's still not fully secure. We discussed it last night, and even now, I'm not concerned. I'm not worried about him. Yes, he's a world-class manager, but it's Tottenham. We've seen Nuno's been promised the world. Mourinho was promised everything and the sun. What did he get? So what's suddenly changed? The club is.
He got a little bit cross. That's what he did.
Yeah, just a tad.
Well, I think Conte's been known in his past to have a little bit of a fiery temper.
Yeah,
just a tad. Just a tad. Just having a fight with Diego Costa and walking out of Inter Milan after winning the league title because they basically have sold up City's best players. Because the club's in debt, ironically, with the owners, and they've just paid. They're in debt. Go to Tottenham. The club's in debt. They're in more than we've ever been since I moved to the Emirates. They've just paid Nuno and his staff around 14 to 16 million pound. They now have paid God knows through the nose as well. Probably have to take out loans to get Conte and his staff. And I'm seeing Tottenham fans thinking, "Oh yeah, that's it, world class manager. Here comes the trophies. Here comes the Europa Conference." I'm like. And I'm seeing Arsenal fans that we've mentioned before. We could have had Conte. Maybe we could have, but for unlike Tottenham, we're stuck by a manager. And that's where you got to give Edu and the people upstairs plaudits, because obviously, since obviously Man City defeat, as I said before, we haven't lost. He's turned it around. But we're now seeing a style of play. We're now seeing a settled back line in terms of the goalkeeper and the back four. We're seeing a structure with and literally in terms of our injury record, apart from Granit, and obviously Tierney's got a knock for it recently. Apart from them two, we've got a fully fit squad to pick from. We're suddenly seeing an upturn in performances and results against teams last year. Let's not forget, Leicester beat us at the Emirates 1-0. Villa done the double over us. Burnley done the double over us. And we're this season, we're beating them teams. Look at Crocker doing it. So you can't complain. But you got the bigger accounts, I would say, the bigger influencers want to complain because it suits their agenda.
Yeah, I know. And just a hello to Shane saying, how does anyone take Jamie O'Hara seriously? Does anyone actually take him seriously? And well done for the use of the word pleb. I haven't seen that for a long time, and that's got to be brought back into everyday speech. That's a fantastic word there, mate. Yeah. I couldn't think of a better word to actually describe Jamie O'Hara with, to be perfectly honest. But has he been sort of gobbing off recently then, or is this just? Oh
no, it's just basically said Arsenal, West Ham, Leicester, watch out, we're back.
Yeah,
they've got Conte, we're back sort of thing. Bring it on. Like back from
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I read an interesting
back from the
stat
shops
earlier. Actually, I read an interesting stat that in the last year, Tottenham have had more managers than they've ever won league titles.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
3 managers, 2 league titles. That's
and the year's not even finished yet. Let's just put that one out there as well. I know.
Double it up. Why not?
Going back on the Conte thing before we move on. Literally, he came in. He's proven himself in the Premier League at Chelsea. I said to you last night, there's a thing on Sky. They basically did a stat thing where at the events of Chelsea's and Inter's recently, they did an average how much he spent. At Chelsea in the Premier League, over the 2 years he was there, he spent nearly £200 million. He ain't going to get that at Chelsea, at Tottenham, sorry.
No.
Not 100 million.
No, they've got a £900 million debt to pay off for their stadium. They've got obviously the pandemic, lack of funds to contend with as well. They turned down 150 million for Kane, which you're never going to see again in a million years. That's like turning down a 250 grand boxing Deal or No Deal and ended up with a pound. You know,
they've got a player there, a world class striker there. Doesn't want to be there. He's not performing. What suddenly Conte's going to turn up and get a tune out of him?
I know.
And suddenly change his mind.
Well, I put a tweet out there saying, well, that's the end of Conte as a serious manager then, because no manager will ever come out of Spurs with a heightened reputation. I don't even think, Poch was probably the closest they've ever had to that, but he's not going to win any. He's not going to win anything for the first time in his managerial career, Antonio Conte, because he's gone to Spurs, and that's not a good look for him, is it? It's not the biggest and the best career move for him to make.
If you read between the lines as well of his statement, he's put a reason why he's now accepted compared to the summer. It's basically because they've offered him more money.
Offered more money. I know.
They've shut the for the money at the situation, put themselves in more debt. Okay.
Cool. And an 18-month contract.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to go south fairly quickly when he realizes when he gets told that he's not going to be able to spend much. Yeah. Spurs are, I'm very, very surprised. Actually, a bit surprised that they got rid of Nuno. It just in the sense that he's exactly what they want in that he's a bit of a yes man. You know what I mean? Nuno, we haven't got this. Oh, okay, boss. All right. Well, no worries. Whereas I don't think Conte is the kind to ever want to operate like that. And if he's not getting what he wants financially for players, then he's going to let them know pretty soon enough, isn't he?
Well, January the 31st is my best bet, really. For him to suddenly, Yep. See you later, guys. Sorry about that, but no,
we saw,
ain't staying here no longer.
We saw it back in May as well in terms of Conte and him walking out. He literally just won the league titles with Inter Milan, the first to break that stranglehold that Juventus had for the last near decade. And he was told he had to sell the likes of Lukaku and all his other best players to bring in new potential players, not even world class. He was like, no, I'm out of here. Bye. He tore up his own contract and walked out of the club. If he can do that, he's going to do that at Tottenham. I'm sorry.
After just winning the league, exactly. I know. So it's just, I mean, when he was announced, I had the exact opposite of the feelings. Well, even when he was being talked about, I had the exact opposite of the feelings that most Arsenal managers on Twitter, Arsenal fans. That's an easy mistake to make. Arsenal fans on Twitter said that, oh God, they're going to be a real force now, and we should have gone and got him, and blah blah blah. I'm just I'm literally buying in the popcorn, put my feet up, and I'm just going to look forward to watching this roll out, because it's going to be good fun seeing how they implode even further, and they're going to end up in even worse financial mess than they are now, because they've already spent 34 million quid getting rid of managers in the last 12 months. And
that's a good transfer. That's a good,
It is a good transfer when you Spurs. Yeah, absolutely. It's a transfer, and that's all they wanted. Bless them. So it's only going to unravel even more, because he is a very, very volatile manager. I was obviously being very, very sarcastic earlier, and a bit. You've seen him just lose it everywhere he's been in the past. And he's not going to get. I mean, people have been saying he's going to have 100 million quid to spend in January. I'm sorry, but did I miss Spurs winning the Euro Millions or something? Mega rollover. Where are they going to get 100 million quid from? And maybe if they just sold Harry Kane, then fine. But they ain't going to get 100 million quid for Harry Kane anymore, because he's got his flip flops on. He's down the beach. So I just don't know where they think they're. The massive. I'm not stupid. I know that they're going to get an improvement in results in the short term, but they're not going to be going, head to head with Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool anytime soon. And I can genuinely say, without a shadow of a doubt, hand on my heart, I'd much rather be in our position, whereby we made the mistake of appointing, Unai. Where not, just solely that being the mistake, but we didn't really attack the main problem at that point, whereby we needed a complete squad overhaul. We just thought that by appointing Unai, it would be a shortcut to getting back into the Champions League, and it didn't work out that way. So what we've done now is we've literally, ripped up all the blueprints and started again, and we've completely remodeled our squad. We've totally taken down the age profile of the squad. We've got the young manager in place who is put this plan into place for a long-term project, which is obviously the horrible word. But we can all see it taking fruit, and it's only going to get better over the next year or two. So I'd much rather be in this position now than Spurs' position, because I've said before, last weekend they put out the oldest Premier League starting lineup in the Premier League this season. Spurs, their squad is aging. They I don't know how Conte sort of will suddenly realise that he needs a whole new squad basically within the next 12 months. He's going to have to change that squad completely, and they ain't going to have the money to do that. So anyway. I'll leave the final word with you, Kunjan, on this one, because I think three of us have had a bit of a word about Conte. So, and then we'll move on to something else. What's your thoughts on it then, overall?
I believe that there is something up their sleeve. Sure.
I'm sorry. I just need to log off and log back on again, just so I can get my headphones to work. So I'll see you in a sec.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
I genuinely do believe, Andrew, that there is a contingency plan in a positive way with Spurs. Antonio Conte rejected them earlier for a reason, and I think the reason is that they were Spurs. However, their director of football must have convinced them, and as we've publicly known, Nuno was not even their third or fourth or fifth choice. They had an entire list. They may have even contacted you to be their manager before they spoke to Nuno.
Oh yeah, I rejected it out of hand.
Yeah, of course, who wouldn't? But the point is that getting Nuno, like I know I shouldn't say this, but I actually felt sorry for Nuno because it was literally a case of a bad marriage, and you saw it a mile away that this is going to be something that's not going to work out. His style of play and the perfect manager for Tottenham Hotspur was, is, and maybe will be for a very long time. Unfortunately, the Mauricio Pochettino. But why would he leave managing Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Hakimi, Sergio Ramos to come and manage a bunch of buffoons? Because I'm sorry, whatever the case, your love for the club, the money that someone may pay you, at the end of the day, it's a career growth. You want to achieve certain things, be it trophies or even a skill set. And coming to Tottenham is a career suicide, if you ask me. Conte obviously has had this discussion. The sacking of Nuno did not happen overnight. Yes, we have seen it. That it happened post the Manchester United game, but I think they'd been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get him on board, and I think Ryan said it correctly. He's going to throw his toys out of the pram very soon. It's happened at Chelsea, it's happened at Inter Milan, it's going to happen here. Only the difference with something like Chelsea is that he did have the funds backing him up. At Inter Milan, on paper, he did have the funds backing him up until they realized, yeah, COVID has messed us, and now we have to start selling. And which is why, again, he's like, I'm good. You want to do so? I don't want to continue at this club. You cannot come to a Tottenham Hotspur and be painted a picture, however rosy the picture may be painted, that yeah, we are here to win trophies, we're here to challenge for the title. It's shambolic, and if it is going to happen, it's going to be the biggest coup we're ever going to be seeing in football. That from nowhere Tottenham Hotspur become title challengers. It's the biggest coup that's going to be heard of. But I do believe there is a result around the corner. I do believe there could be a trophy. It pains me to say this, but there could be a trophy that Conte could be pushing for, because he's going to come. He's got November. He's got December to get the players that to get their acts together. He's got 2 months to get Harry Kane up and firing. And if that's not going to happen, I think Chappers mentioned early on that no one's going to pay 100 million, leave it at 150, but even 100 million for Harry Kane. So this is something that they have structured. This is something that's going to happen. And if it doesn't work out to what Conte wants, he'll be gone in the summer. He will be gone, not Tottenham. He will be gone.
Yeah, but the thing is,
already gone.
About them winning a trophy, they've still got Tottenham's players. I know they've got a new manager, but they've still got Tottenham's players. They've got 3 or 4 good players, and that's being kind. You know, they've obviously got the front 2 in Son and Kane. They've got Højbjerg, who's half decent, but not world class, obviously. But you know, the rest of them are just a pile of shite, to be honest with you.
They are, but again, look at the competitions they're left in. Like the League Cup, even though we're pushing for it, it's not the most prestigious cup. And then you have the Conference League. Like, I'm sorry, like Chapper said, he lost 4-2. I'm pretty sure if he goes to the Conference League, he could actually like scrape a draw over there. It's also quite a garbage tournament. And like I celebrated that we did not get that last spot. It's atrocious to even like getting into Europa League was bad enough, and now you're getting into the Conference League. Please, any day of the year, leave me out of Europe for that. And I do feel that based on the pedigree of that tournament, Tottenham do have a chance, and that too with this manager. If Nuno is pushing for that tournament and he's getting results, imagine what Conte is going to do. Conte is going to want to have results. Conte is going to put down his best 11 to win that tournament, and he's going to be pushing up the table as well.
Actually, this is a serious question, and I'm not even joking, because I don't even know. But do the best teams of the Europa League drop into the conference in the same way that they do with the Champions League into the Europa?
I asked James earlier, and he said yes. All the teams that finish third in Europa League groups drop down automatically into conference.
Because that doesn't happen this season in the Champions League, is it? Into the Europa, there's a playoff instead.
Oh, okay.
Only the top teams go through in the Europa to the next stage, and the same way in the Champions League, I believe, or maybe the top two in the Champions League, actually. Yeah, it's the top two in the Champions League go through, because the third used to go into the Europa, didn't they?
Mm.
But now, the third in the Champions League plays off with the second in the Europa League groups.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So it doesn't happen automatically anymore. So that's what I was wondering about the whether that happened in the other competition. Because if that's the case, then there's going to be some half-decent teams dropping into the conference, in which case it's not going to be plain sailing for Spurs in that either.
And also got Roma's in that competition already, and if Tottenham come up against Roma, Mourinho will do everything he can to stop them
Oh, yeah.
from winning the trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very true. In fact,
The only thing I know is that if you're going to drop out of the Conference League, you fall into a big bowl of crap, which actually looks like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If you look at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think that's where you fall into. So that's what I'm looking at.
So
Well,
very, very true.
It is the toilet bowl after all.
It is.
The Armitage Shanks Arena. Anyway. What the hell was that? Sorry. Right, anyway. We're going to move on to something different now. In fact, I don't know what it is. So it's something that you put together, chappers. So are you ready to go ahead with that?
Yeah, if you just want to hang on. Yeah, I'm about ready. Let's go for it. So yeah, here's just something I knocked up. I just thought it would be quite fun. It sort of all started by you sending me a GIF, Andrew, of some ravers sort of munching their chops off whilst dancing. And I thought, oh, I've actually got a good idea for that. So I just went ahead and wrote it, and it might be a load of crap, but you never know. We'll see how it goes. So if you just like to hit play on the thing, that's the one. Good evening, pop pickers, and tonight we're here for Chapper's Top 10. That's right, it's Chapper's Top 10, and this week we're going for the top 10 Arsenal players' disastrous rave escapades. Up to number 10, it's Ray Parlour. His propensity for the demon drink landed him in hot water on a night out at the Violin Jaw in Cricklewood. After draining the venue's entire supply of Cobra Lager and voraciously demanding more, he opted to consume the entire place with everyone still in it. It was found a week later, 100 yards down the road from his flat in West Finchley. Staff and punters still intact. A non-mover at 9, it's Sylvan Wiltorm, who threw his toys out of the pram when booking the VIP section at the Bristol Palace, and when turning up was informed that, "We're sorry, Trevor Nelson, but you've been barred for years after that incident with the curlew and the Violina Superman, and pretending to be a famous footballer won't fool us." He's held a grudge against Roy Hodgson to this day. Up 5 to number 8, it's Nacho Monreal, diving in like a pensioner at a jumble sale, who, after a misunderstanding, ended up in a nightclub, the Gurner's Blessing Rooms. That's right, his English hadn't become that advanced. He decided to get into the spirit of things by purchasing a jumbo-sized bottle of poppers. And after chugging it down beer bong style, instead of sniffing it, was violently sick, ruining his night and his special trousers. Down 3 to number 7, it's Davor Suker. Well, his night took a turn for the interesting when he entered the sideways Shuttleworth in Camden and got trampled on entry when his chin was mistaken by 1,000 punters for a dance floor. The actual dance floor itself was grateful for the time off, whereas Davor spent months on the injury table. A non-mover in six, it's Marwan Shamak. When attending the jumping up and down finish, he became bored and asked a fellow punter if there was a way of livening things up. After being advised to double drops and dubs, he went to the nearest park and procured 2 pigeons. After being readmitted, he climbed up the balcony and became very dispirited when the pigeons simply just flew away. He spent a heated hour discussing with the club manager about why he should get his money back, whilst the manager quietly countered that he would be billed for the bird shit that had pasted his brand new sound system. Rocky! A non-mover at number 5, it's Alexander Clem. After witnessing Shamak's exploit, Clem, not to be outdone, visited the very same nightclub and frantically threw himself off the very same balcony, arms splayed, legs akimbo, and rolling 15 times across the width of the dance floor, chucked his arm up and claimed theatrically for a penalty. The crowd were all in agreement it was played for and got. Number 4, it's Rami Shaban, was hallucinating so wildly he became convinced he was in an episode of 80s quiz show Bullseye and throwing what he thought were darts but turned out to be cocktail stirrers and confused punters, eventually being ejected by security after trying to drive off with the decks, convinced they were actually Bully's special prize of an Escort XR3i Coupe. Racy stuff. Number 3, Philip Senderos. As part of his Arsenal initiation, he proudly declared in song, accompanied by a full concert of yodelers, that he had never ever been to a nightclub or rave, using the reckoning that nothing would ever be Swiss enough for the likes of him. The closest he came was when he ate some cheese from the Fulham canteen, but had a hissy fit when he discovered it was Norwegian Jarlsberg. Yuck! Number 2, it's Metin Ozil. That's right, our bug-eyed prankster had a fixation on laughing gas, didn't he? Or hippie crack, as some others like to call it. Well, he developed a very annoying habit of going to outdoor free parties and literally sticking balloons up unsuspecting hippies' cracks. And for a 17th week, at number 1, it's Gio van Bronckhorst, who was dancing so frantically that he transmogrified into an actual Van de Graaff generator, creating an electrical current so strong that it interfered with the speakers and caused a short circuit. Punters were not too disappointed, though, because they were still able to charge their phones off of him. Thanks very much. That was Chappers Top 10. We'll see you next week. All right.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can't
Thanks,
can't actually see anything. My eyes are just streaming so much. That's brilliant.
With all that, Atlanta have just scored.
Thanks very much, Chaps.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've got to control myself now. Right.
Thanks for the inspiration.
How the fuck do I follow that now? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, mate. Oh, dear. Yeah, Atlanta have just scored. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Right.
Goal check. It's been checked apparently with VAR.
Oh, really? At this point, I think it's time just to have a quick look forward to, boring as it is after that, but to the Watford game, because it's a game that fills me full of, a bit sick in my mouth, to be honest, after the last one of the last times we played Watford, under Unai Emery, which was the absolutely horror show that it was when we were 2-0 up at half time.
Oh.
And they came back and literally had about 35 shots in the second half, if you remember. Now, I'm pretty confident that ain't going to happen again this weekend, touch wood. But yeah, Sunday, I'll come to you first, Ryan, on this one. What's your thoughts about this game? And hopefully, might be able to name an unchanged team, fingers crossed. How you see it going?
Based on how things have started for him, put Everton aside, I think obviously with home advantage as well, home crowd, game from the international break. We're not, as I said, they're on this high of not losing since Man City. I can't see anything but a convincing win here. If I'm being brutally honest, I mean, teams on a high. We're not conceding goals for fun anymore like we used to. And Watford aren't the same. Aren't what they were under Emery back a few years back now. 2 years, 3 years back? How many years ago that was?
Yeah,
When
3
Granit was
now, I
captain.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
2.5.
Yeah,
2.5.
something like that. When Granit was captain, he came on national TV and said, "We're scared." Even that side of things has changed as well. You can tell because of certain characters in the team now, certain players that either been brought through by the academy or been brought in full stop via transfers. That scared mentality that we had under in that time frame isn't there anymore.
Hmm.
I think the teams that we this season, we're going to see a lot of it this season. Where the teams we should beat, we will be beating, and then we will nick the points here and there against the teams in and around us, and obviously that's what a good time. I'm convinced we'll get European football, but going to Sunday itself, I think touch wood, no injuries or no COVID and all that. Touch wood. Again, I will not change a single player in that 11. Nuno. Tavares, the only Nuno in North London left. Keep him in there. He's doing a fantastic job. And you can't fault him. He gives us something different. I know Tierney's a fantastic left back, but if he's a little bit, if he's available, I'll put him on the bench and have Nuno because Nuno gives us something different.
Well, I don't think I think Tierney's. From last time I heard, yesterday or the day before, he's not started properly sprinting on his foot yet. So. I doubt whether he'll be ready for the weekend, so I think it'll be a case of Nuno deputising once more.
Yeah, like the saying goes, why change something doesn't need fixing?
Yeah,
when it's working, when things are working, don't need to change. And
you've got to reward the good performances as well, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's another critique of Wenger and Emery that they never did that. I mean, we touched it under Wenger. Lucas Perez, of course, a Champions League hat-trick. Then a few days later gets dropped against Southampton. And what was it? In Emery, just constantly had these favourites, no matter what. They could underperform and not this, that, and the other. That they'd always play. Whereas we're starting to see with a fully fit squad that Arteta isn't afraid to. If you ain't performing, he will drop you. He will play someone else. And with Granit being injured as well, it's key that Sambi and Partey get as much game time together as possible, build up a relationship, more so for next season going forward, but also for Sambi in the sense of because it's either if we don't get game time now, he's going to be thrown under the bus when it comes from Boxing Day till mid-February, when you're assuming AFCON goes ahead. Because we're going to lose Partey. As it stands, if AFCON goes ahead, we're losing Partey, we're losing Pepe, we're losing El Neni and Aubameyang. Three of them players are effectively key players. Obviously, El Neni being more of a squad player if and when we need it.
I was going to say one of those departures will actually strengthen the squad, won't it? But yeah.
I was trying to be polite, but yeah.
I'm going to come to you, and I'm just going to make a quick deviation on this subject, actually, Kunjan, because there's been quite a few reports out today as well that because of the lack of game time that Ceballos is getting at Real Madrid, we've been linked with him again for a move in January, back on loan. Bearing in everything Ryan's just said in mind, what's your thoughts about
that? Where would he play? Because if we're adopting the system that we're going for right now, you can see with the 4-4-2, we're finding a certain grit, which if Pep had a striker, an actual striker, you can see that even Pep Guardiola is going that route with this very conservative yet modern approach to the 4-4-2. And Arteta, maybe it's a playbook from Pep, or maybe Pep is taking a playbook from Arteta, but they're adopting a very similar style. If you were to get a Ceballos, you have yourself an Odegaard who didn't even make the starting 11 when we played Leicester. You have an Emil Smith-Rowe who's been pushed to the left, and he's amazing on the left, but that's not his natural position. You bring the Ceballos in, and based on what we've seen with him in 2 seasons, let's give Ceballos the benefit of the doubt, and let's say 1 season under Mikel, like 1 whole season, even though he was with Mikel 1.5 seasons. We we didn't see what Mikel is trying to implement. Yes, he's got, I think the name is spinning top. He's got the whole spinning top thing where he gets the ball and he rounds a couple of players and he's got a good center of gravity. But I think Ceballos would be a good option if we have someone who we actually need. Because if Elneny is a player that we're going to lose, if Ainsley is a player we're going to lose, we're very light in midfield. We have three players that we can rely on in the center of the park, which is Thomas Partey, Lokonga, and when I say rely on, unfortunately, I have to put in the same breath Mr. Granit Xhaka. Based on those three names, Xhaka has picked up an injury and Lokonga has had to fill it in. But we bought him for that reason. He's left Elneny on the bench. He's left Ainsley on the bench. So he's clearly doing a good job. You bring a Ceballos in, he should be a good squad player. But if we're building what we say we are, do you want a squad player or do you want a Tavares who's going to push a Tierney for that left-sided spot? And this is what every player right now, the 6 signings that have been put in, Aaron Ramsdale has left Leno on the bench. Tomiyasu has left Chambers and Suarez on the bench and sent Bellerin to Spain. Ben White has ensured not only did he take Saliba's spot, he even took his number. Tavares right now is making a very strong case about Tierney. I love Kieran Tierney, but if you came up to me and said Tierney must start against Watford, I'd say no, he must not start. I assure you that. That's what Tavares has done in the last few games. Lokonga has been very reliable. He does the dirty work and he's still finding his footing. And Martin Odegaard comes on in Leicester, keeps the midfield there, gets the ball up there, plays some beautiful passes. In fact, I think he was key to one of the passes that went to Aubameyang when Johnny Evans turned in.
Yeah, he relieved a lot of pressure in that second half.
He did. And then all of a sudden, you can see that all these 6 signings Mikel has brought in, there's a purpose behind it. If Ceballos is on our radar, I trust Mikel enough because I'm the same person who said, what's Mikel doing with Ramsdale? I've had my humble pie and I assure you it did not taste good. So if Mikel is pushing for Ceballos, I have to trust the man and I have to say he knows what he's doing. But I don't think he should be the first name on the transfer list that we should be trying to target.
No, I can't add anything to that. I think I agree with everything that you just said, to be honest with you. I'd like to see more of a long-term signing come in, if anything. Someone that we really need. I'd love to see the sort of midfield version of Tavares come in. You know, this hidden gem that we haven't heard of before, but who's big and powerful and strong and, you know, very athletic, who can really sort of, be a real force in our midfield. You know,
we were linked with someone like that, but unfortunately he went to Real Madrid. We were linked with Camavinga, and I think he would be perfect for any midfield that he goes to. He's young, he's strong, he's robust, he's multi-talented, and he fortunately for him, he went off to Real Madrid, and we can't compete with that right now.
There must be another Camavinga out there somewhere, you know. And we found a few real good gems that none of us had really heard of, if we're honest, before. Strong. In the summer. And let's just hope that, you know, Edu can pull another one out of the bag somewhere, and Edu and Arteta between them. So let's move on back on to Chappers with you, and I'll come back to you a bit in a short while, Kunjan, about your thoughts about Watford. But I'll move to you about what your thoughts are about the upcoming game at the weekend, mate. And also, our draw in the cup that we wanted.
We discussed against
that prick Lee Johnson.
Because we discussed that last week, didn't we? We're quite lucky because usually when it comes to sort of, oh, we might get a favourable draw here. We do end up drawing somebody like Man City or Chelsea or someone like that. And it's like, oh God, not again. So it's actually quite nice to get probably the most favourable team in that draw. And I mean, that really puts us instead to progress, really, doesn't it? I'm just trying to think who's still in it. Spurs are still in it, aren't they? That sets up a nice semi-final.
Liverpool, Chelsea.
I'm sure. Yes.
Liverpool, Spurs are. Yeah, Spurs are.
Yeah,
Liverpool, Chelsea.
Brentford versus Chelsea. Liverpool
That's it,
versus
Brentford.
Leicester. And West Ham versus them not down the road.
Yeah.
So,
If we're lucky, if we continue with the luck, Liverpool and Chelsea will get each other in the semi-final. So one of them will have to go out. Yeah.
That
Anyway.
would be nice. So that's great, and I expect Lee Johnson is probably now shitting his pants in his crummy little office, with a. This is the first podcast I've ever brought in a Vileader Supermop twice, but with the Vileader Supermop in the background and his abacus or whatever on the side. So yeah, he's probably going to be shitting his pants now, and I'm glad because I really can't wait to wipe the smile off his face when we destroy them. And we will destroy them. I think it's going to be a really, really convincing win. I think Arteta's probably going to end up fielding a mixture of informed players and probably a few other fringe players that might be performing as well. So that's something to look forward to. What was the other question?
Watford coming up at the weekend.
Oh, Watford. Yeah, Watford coming up. I'm not too worried about that. Again, I think that Watford, although who was it? They did win. Who was it? They
beat Everton.
Yeah,
Everton 5-2.
5-2. So and Ranieri's at the helm now, isn't he? So I mean, it still might make for an interesting match. I suspect that it'll probably be quite an open game, perhaps. If Ranieri's sort of involved, he's going to tinker away until he kind of gets it right. But I expect us to.
Sorry to interrupt. Is that an owl in the background?
No, it's a dog. It's actually a couple of dogs outside. No, it's not.
I thought you had an owl in the in your castle, Chappers.
I'm not actually in the castle this evening. I'm not in the castle, but
okay.
You do. There is a lot of owl action that you get, especially this time of year. A lot of owl action. It's very, very spooky. They're all trying to fuck each other at the moment. So, so yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So I don't think it's going to be a particularly difficult match. But I think, it will still be an entertaining match. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, just briefly then, Kunjan, are you in the same boat with regards to this weekend's game?
I'm confident, but I do think Ranieri is a good coach. Let's not write off even the 1-0 loss to Southampton. Because if you go onto the statistics, they actually had about, I think, 10 shots on goal. So and they had about like maybe 36 to 38% or somewhere there of possession. So I do feel we shouldn't take it too lightly. We shouldn't just walk in and assume that we'll get the 3 points. But we should continue the momentum. We should go in there and take it just as seriously as we took Aston Villa or Leicester. And for one odd reason, because my OCD has been kicking in about this, we need a positive goal difference. And it's something that I don't know why no one has addressed this yet, but this entire season, we have not won both halves. If you watch any of the games, we have not won both halves. We have won only one of the halves. I think we need to change that. We need to go into the first half, win it, go into the second half and win it. Because the minute we do that, A, we're putting on pressure on the opposition that we're coming at you. We're not going to sit back and soak in the pressure. And B, I think it's going to help us climb the table. I'm just looking at the table right now. Chelsea have a positive goal difference of 23. Liverpool, 21. Manchester City, 14. West Ham United, 9. Manchester United, 4. And we're in -1. which means that even if we do win, let's say even if we win convincingly 3-0, we would still be behind West Ham if they lose because of goal difference. That's something we need to fix. We need to get the momentum going. We need to let the goals start, speaking, and thus climbing up the table.
Yeah, it's a really good point, actually. That is something that we definitely need to sort of correct as quickly as possible, because it is annoying. Seeing us sitting up there really nicely, we haven't got to scroll down to the second page of the league table anymore to see where we are. But it'll be nice to see that we've got a positive goal difference as well. That's definitely right. Does anyone know when this the next round of the Carabao Cup is?
It's slated as we speak tentatively for December, but I don't think that's going to be possible because it says over here 22nd December. But I don't think it's going to be possible because I'm counting the fixtures. If you include the Sunderland game, Arsenal have United away, Everton away, Southampton at home, West Ham at home, Leeds away, Sunderland at home, Norwich away, and Wolves at home. That's 8 games in December. I think that's just insane. I don't think they're going to slot in a December game.
Wow, I would have. I'm shocked that it's not until December, considering we're only in the 2nd of November, and the final is always around February time.
February.
It's going to be early March. Yeah.
So I mean, I was expecting it this month. If I'm honest,
well, that's why the international.
I think maybe because of the international break, they're not slotted. Because the international break, they're not slotted the game, and that's why they're pushing to December.
Of course. So we've literally only got 3 games this month then.
Yeah.
But see, this is why I miss European football big time. I miss the amount of games and watching Arsenal as much as we used to. But anyway, that's so. I mean, we're going to go from a 3-game month to an 8-game month. That's mad, isn't it? That's really crazy. Yeah, we're going to need the squad.
Someone needs to have a word with somebody in scheduling, don't they?
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah. Someone needs to have a word with the FA and just stop all these international breaks, which are very annoying.
Imagine next season, literally, World Cup's in, mid-November till December or something like that.
Yeah.
We have international breaks galore at the start of the season.
Yeah,
I know.
sure.
The season's better be starting. We've got to put it on pause for this World Cup for a month.
I know. Do you know what? I don't even know what the next season is actually going to look like in regards to when it starts, when it ends, or anything, to be honest with you. I haven't even looked into it. Have you? No. It's mad. But
I think I do have an idea of what next season is going to look like. I think if we don't even qualify for Europe at all, if we don't qualify for Europe at all, it's going to look like this. If we do qualify,
that's not going to work on Spotify.
And if we qualify for the UEFA, but no, what's it called? The Europa
Conference League.
It's going to look like this.
I know. Do you know what? I would have even taken that though this season. I would have taken it this season for just so we can see more of the kids playing. At least it would have been, a few midweek games where we could have seen Aziz and Patino and stuff like that, maybe potentially. But anyway, it is what it is. I think we'll call it a day there, guys, if that's all right with you. Well, you ain't got no choice in the matter because I'm just going to stop it anyway. But I'm being polite.
Yeah, you're the host.
But thank you to everyone in the chat today. It's been great. Got some really good comments in there. And it is going to be the normal time now. From now on, it's going to be every Tuesday at 7:30. So please make sure you hit the notification button. Subscribe, obviously, if you haven't done so already. And then you won't miss the show moving forward. And gold, like we had today with Chappers' top 10.
I've got some more in the pipeline. I've got some more ideas in the pipeline.
Oh wow, fantastic! That's amazing, mate. That's amazing. So I look forward to those. But yeah, once again, thank you, Kunjan, and you're going to be a regular on the show as well, which is great.
Thank you for that, Andrew. Really
For everyone to
appreciate it.
hear about. And thank you for coming along tonight. Been a pleasure. Ryan, same with you. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for making it tonight. It's great. What have you got coming up to this week? Have you got so much going on?
In terms of Arsenal content, as I said last night, I think the preview on Friday, double watch along, obviously the men's and women's game, literally back to back on Sunday. That's fucking brilliant, isn't it? That's great scheduling. That is great. Well done, Sky.
I know.
You know, we want to promote the women's game, but literally two teams playing each other, playing pretty much at the same time makes fucking perfect sense. On Super Sunday, yeah. So I'll be doing that, and the match of the day streams I'll do on Saturday and Sunday as well, and a few bits and pieces throughout the week as well. But yeah, apart from that,
Fantastic. Well, go make sure you, if you haven't done so already, go and subscribe to Ryan's channel, as we keep mentioning, the Mr. Arsenal podcast on YouTube. And Chappers, thank you again. Thanks for that wicked top 10 today. Really enjoyed it, mate.
No worries. Aye. Yes, thanks for having me on again. I'll see you again soon.
Well, we will indeed. We'll see you next Tuesday. And that is not a rude thing. I actually meant see you next Tuesday.
First thing that came into my head, that mate. That was
how rude.
I was not calling you a rude name. I will just have you know. Right. Once again, thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.